So Melina from the Fight Stalker here. I'm sitting here with Marcus Burgess and Brad Aird. So I'm just going to have a catch up with the guys to give us a little bit of history about their fight careers. So I might start with yourself. When did you first start fighting?
Around 92, 93.
Yep.
Yep.
And how many fights did you have in your career?
Around 50.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, 51 or 2. Can't count that high.
And what about yourself?
Started fighting in 1995 and had somewhere at 25.
Yeah, cool. All right, so can you tell me a little bit of difference that you can see in the fight scene as it was back then to what it is now?
Definitely the main thing is like the show we're at today. It's the amateurs and the kids fights. I was probably 15 or so fighting 20, 30-year-olds because there was no 1.5s by 3s or anything. You do a couple of 3s and then go into the 5. So I think that's good for the kids. There was no padded. There's no belly pads. Might be shin pads, but few and far between. So that's the biggest change.
No headgear?
No headgear, no.
Yeah. So what age was your first fight? 15? 15. Yeah. Yeah, right. And what about yourself? What age were you?
I was about 23, 24, I think at the time. Yeah.
And what do you find the big difference is?
I think the same as Brad, the structure of the tournaments and things now. We were in there, as Brad was saying, no protection pretty much. Now the structure for the kids to come through is just fantastic for the sport.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And what about, can you tell me a little bit about some of the opponents that you fought over your career?
Yeah, okay. Couple of fights in actually. Wayne and I fought.
Yeah, right.
We were both quite young. The old playroom, which is long demolished now, shows you how.
Talmadra, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it shows you how long that was. Lucky enough to fight a couple of the Japanese K1 guys.
Yep.
Over in Japan. Mac, a guy by the name of Mac, he was 21 wins straight, who had the Shudo World title.
Yeah, right.
Fought him. He went on to fight a number of UFC guys. So, a few guys from Tribal, which is Nuggets Gym now.
Yeah, right.
So Humpty, a couple of fights with him actually, and the monster Josh Sexton. Lost Australian title to him. He was he was a monster back in the day. Yeah. It's good fun. Yeah,
cool. And the K1 fights that you did over in China, were they massive
Japan,
big? Sorry, Japan. Yeah. Were they massive big productions?
Well, I didn't fight on the K1. Fought on went over with Wayne and fought some small shows around the same time with Japanese guys that were the K1 fighters. So I never actually fought on K1 myself. No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you? What's some of the highlights for you in your fight career?
For myself, probably my biggest highlight was fighting under John Wayne Parr.
Yep.
When I first moved to Queensland, moved up in 2001, sold everything I had to move up and train with Wayne, and to fight out of the Boonchu gym at the time was just a fantastic experience.
Yep. Yeah, cool. And can you tell me sort of, I guess, the difference in the training styles that you've seen, back as it was back then to how people are training today? What do you guys? Yeah,
definitely. I saw actually on your Australian travels you were down at Mick Spinks's gym. I remember you used to catch the bus down there, and we would spar like it was a fight.
You used to catch a bus from Queensland down there?
Yes. Yeah, flights were too expensive. But yeah, we used, old school. Very, very hard, and it wasn't till I kind of had some time off, come back into it, started training with Bomber again, and at Boonchu that we'd train hard, but not to try and hurt each other, and it just helps longevity. Otherwise, you'd end up having more injuries in training. So I think that was a good change.
Yeah. And what about the difference you've seen?
Yeah, similar sort of thing. The training just became more user friendly, I guess. Looking after the body a little bit more, a little bit smarter with what we do, especially with weight cuts and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
We looked after ourselves a little bit more than probably in days gone by.
Yep. So did you guys find was there much weight cutting back when you guys used to fight?
Yeah, there was. There was a lot of big weight cuts back then, but I think, as I was saying, I think we've got a lot smarter now in the way we do it, and we're looking after our fighters a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found for me the opposite. When I first started, I didn't even think about cutting weight. Like a lot of the times we would travel up to Brisbane and weigh in an hour or two before the fight.
Yeah, right.
And not bother cutting weight. For me, it wasn't till I got a few more fights in, probably until I come back from overseas and started training at Boon Chew, that I actually went, well, hang on, I can cut weight and boost back up. So yeah, just when younger, never even thought about it.
Yep. Yeah. Is there anything that you've seen in the sport that you think, other than the protection of like padding and that kind of thing, that you can see as a positive thing that's grown in the sport?
Definitely for me, the kids today, they've got their books, especially for Queensland. If we went down and fought New South Wales or Victoria, you had to be registered in that. Now, there is blood tests. They've got their record book, so there's a lot more evenly matched fights.
Yep.
You'd show up and they'd say, oh, the guy had 1 or 2 fights, and find out later he'd had 10 plus. So it is a good way for them to not get hurt on the way up and not get outmatched. So I think that just need to keep going on that. The legality these days is just too much if you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, the professionalism of the sport's just growing as each year goes by. Promoters are matching better and better fights. With MTA working towards a structure for blood testing and the health of the fighters is just so much better than what it used to be.
Yeah. So these guys are going to get back in and judge a show that we're just at the moment. So before I go, have you got any exciting or really one story that stands out to you guys from your fight days?
I don't know if I've got one story. Actually, where we are now, I won a ISCA Australian title here about 21 years ago. So I know you used the term back in the day. So old now. No, just had some great fights. Bomber, Wayne, Monster, and just good memories forever, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And how long has it been since you had your last fight?
Long time. 13, 14 years.
Yeah, wow.
So, yeah, back in the day,
that's
as you
cool.
said.
What about yourself?
For me, mostly the friendships that I've made throughout the sport. A few of the guys I fought 15 years ago were still best mates.
Yeah.
I fought 2 years ago on the Quandamooka Cup against one of the boys, Stevie Pye, that I fought 15 years ago, I think. And we're still great mates now.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a lifelong sport, hey?
Absolutely.
Like you're always doing it.
Yeah.
Whether you're not fighting anymore, you're still keeping within the sport. It's great.
Yeah, still fit, still keep up with those young blokes.
Yeah. Might see you guys back in the ring again soon, hey?
No, probably not.
So quick,
just
run away from the ring. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for catching up.
Thank you, Mel. Thanks,
Melina.
Melina.
Time up in the show.
Right. Thank you.